spoke to. Start with Kirsty, we'll go to Rob, Adam, and we'll see where we go from there. We'll go next door for the dailies as normal. Kirsty, you'd like to start us off?
Brendan,
hi, Kirsty.
Just something away from Leicester, just looking at the Premier League. Pochettino's been talking about his desire to manage again in the Premier League. I just wondered if you personally would like to see him back in the league at some point.
Well, no, he's an outstanding manager. I think that Maurizio will benefit from the break. I think when the job is so intense and there's lots of pressure around it, and he'd been in a spell there for a long period of time without any break. So I'm sure he will have enjoyed, or is enjoying, the rest and the breather and taking his time to see what his options are. So, but yeah, he's a top class manager, and I'm sure wherever it is and whatever country it's in, he'll do a great job. But he should just enjoy his rest at the moment, and then he'll be ready to come in, and then it'll be back to the busy schedule again.
You've all had a rest here over the past week, but in terms of just the travel that's been done, a lot of your players will have been going away. I'm just wondering, in terms of the big news we've got out there at making headlines at the moment with the coronavirus, and is that something that players were given guidelines about? Have they been sort of told to be careful and watch out for any signs?
No, not really. No, the players, they knew well in advance where the break was, and a lot of them went away and had spent time with their families or went away with friends and had a good rest from football. Now they're back and ready to work.
How have they come back? Does everybody seem a bit more refreshed, a bit more ready to go?
Yeah. There's no doubt it was definitely something that will benefit them. I think just to break the cycle from football was important, and not just as much the physical but the mental pressures around it as well. So it allows them to go away, not think about football, but come back now, and now we're fresh and ready for this final third of the season. So but no, they've all come back, enjoyed their time away. Some didn't go away, but they're all ready and trained really well this week.
Different managers have approached it differently. I know at Wolves they went away together, warm weather training. How did you decide in terms of what you were going to do as a team?
Well, my decision was that the players see enough of each other, every day for long periods of the day and large parts of the season. So for me, it was that there are times in the season where you'll take them away and maybe have a 3-4 day training camp, whatever. But for me, the choice was to give them a total break, go with their families, because they have, they do a lot for their partners and husbands as well. They also need a break. So it's been nice for me. It was the case of allowing them to go away with family and spend some time together, and then come back in and like I say, we're very much in each other's pockets for all the other time and months in the year. So yeah. But everyone is different, and everyone will work it different.
Ryan Bennett obviously was signed just before that break, so how has he now been settling in since you've been back, and what kind of role do you see him playing this season now?
Well, I was delighted to get Ryan in because he was a player that I once tried to take to Swansea when I was manager there. I knew him as a young player at Peterborough, and when he was involved with some of the young England teams, he was big talent, and he's gone on and had a really, really good career. So obviously Johnny and Cags have been outstanding for us this season, and with Wes there as well as cover. We wanted to give Filip Benkovic minutes to go out and get loan, but for that we needed to bring in someone who could come in and be a part of our squad, so that if I needed to play him, then we could do. So Ryan comes in and fits the bill. He's a warrior. He's a good guy. He knows the game, defends well. He's got experience, which obviously helps us at this point in time. And he's there to push the players that are playing. And obviously, if we pick up any injuries, he's also available to play. He can play in a couple of different systems as well. Whether it's in a back two or a back three, he's comfortable, and now I'm delighted to have him in, and he's settled in very quickly into the squad.
So do you expect, will we see him making his debut against Wolves on Friday, or do you expect it will take time to to perhaps see him?
Yeah, well, he won't be able to play against Wolves because that's his team. So, but after that game, he'll be available to play.
And in terms of his future, reports that you're already looking at trying to make it a permanent deal. Is that right? Is that something you're looking to do?
No, it's something that we said that we would bring him in. There's within the contract there's stipulations in there in relation to appearances and whatnot. But it's the case of Ryan coming in to support us and for us to work with him, and then we'll see how we go over the next 3 months. But I'm delighted to have him. He's a good guy, and like I said, he's a top class player that's going to really support the squad.
While we're on contracts, any progress at all with James Maddison? Is that any closer to getting him a new deal?
No, it's still in this. The position is still the same as where it's at. Club and representative still negotiating, and I'm sure hopefully they'll find a conclusion.
January now done, but already focus is on the summer transfer window. Adam Lallana, a lot of speculation about him. Leicester, one of the clubs being linked with him, a player you know well. Do you see a lot of competition for his services? He's still got a lot to offer.
Well, Adam's a fantastic player, and he's someone that I brought into Liverpool and been aware of his talent since he was as a young player at Southampton. So, but yeah, he's at the stage. He's done brilliant there, and I'm sure he'll be weighing up his options. But listen, for us and for ourselves, we don't need to speak about that now. We've spoke about it all through January. I don't need to talk about the summer transfer window now. So, but no, I would only add that he's a top class player.
You are getting ready for this game now on Friday night at Wolves. How difficult a prospect is it going to Molineux? What kind of a test do you expect from them?
No, a tough test. Like all the games in the Premier League are tough, and they're a team that are well organised and well drilled, have been together, not so many changes over the last few years. Nuno's done an excellent job there. They defend deep, they play on the counter-attack, they get some really talented players. So we anticipate, like we do in every game, and in particular away from home, as a really tough game. So, but I'm looking forward to the challenge of it with our team. We had a nice break. We've worked really well this week, and then we'll arrive there and hopefully look to perform well.
Adama Traore attracting a lot of attention for his performances and some of the statistics we're seeing from him. How difficult a player is he to face?
Yeah, well, he's a very dangerous player. I've seen him at Aston Villa, and when I look at him now, I've seen the improvements that he's made. He's clearly got incredible power and speed, and like I said, once he's away, he's very, very difficult to stop. And I think what he's done is he's improved his end product. I think once he's got into the final third, you sense that he can create something. So he's a player that we'd obviously have to keep an eye on. But they've got other good players. Jota's a good player. Jimenez is a top class striker at this level as well. He's got a bit of everything. He links the game. He comes underneath. He can spin in behind. He's good in the box and crosses. And he's a very good player. And then they got two players that can pass the ball in midfield. So it's a counter-attacking style. So we need to be able to counter-press really well. We need to be able to control the game how we would like. And obviously in the moments you have to defend, we have to defend well.
What do you make to your recent form before the winter break? Results-wise, perhaps not the consistency in terms of getting the wins that you were getting previously. Is there sort of little tweaks that need to be done?
Yeah. No, I think there's improvements. There's no doubt. Like you say, that sort of consistency, and I think some of that comes with the number of games that we played, the sort of number of changes that we've had to make, some system changes as well. But I think from now through to the end of the season, now in this final third of the season, you sort of regain that stability again, and we look forward now to every single game and see where it takes us.
You have got that cushion still in terms of the Champions League places, but are you stressing to the players that they can't take their foot off the pedal? That 10 points could easily be reduced.
Yeah, listen, we go into every game and give it our best, and we know what we want to achieve this season, and where we finish at the end of the season is where we'll deserve to finish. So players up until this point, 2/3 of the season, been absolutely brilliant in their work, their attitude, their energy, their quality, everything. There's you know, as I said, if they weren't humans, we would win every game. But in the last, obviously, numbers of games, we made some mistakes. But in our last game against Chelsea, we showed a great mentality to come back into the game and probably should have won the game. So, but there's lots of learning that this group will make and continue to make. And like I say, we've put ourselves in a great position, but we can only focus on the next game, and that's our job.
Nice to see so many different teams involved in this race for Champions League places. You know, yourselves up there, but the likes of Sheffield United, at Wolves that you're playing on Friday night. Yeah,
it's a very competitive league. You know, there are lots of outstanding teams. You know, you look at Norwich as an example. They've beaten a lot of teams and played very, very well, but unfortunately are down there. But they're still a very good side. So it's a league that every team is a test. Every team is a challenge. And you have to, in a team like ourselves, we have to be 100%, you know, to get a result in this league. Otherwise, it can drift away from you. But thankfully, the players' mentality and attitude throughout the season has been absolutely brilliant. And like I say, we want to continue with that, and let's see where it takes us.
Just finally, reports that Gareth Southgate will be at the game on Friday night, looking at Harvey Barnes as potential for a call-up for him. Have you had any conversations with Gareth about him, and what would you say about his progress this season? Is he ready for that England senior call-up?
Well, I think any young player that's English and playing the Premier League, I'm sure Gareth will be really interested in. And in particular, watching Harvey, you see his progression and his development. I thought he was outstanding in our last game here against Chelsea, and he's up against Reece James, who's a young player that I think is a really top class young right back. So and I thought he did very, very well in the game, Harvey. And it's a continuation of how he has been. He's getting better all the time. You see his power, you see his pace, of course, but his tactical idea is getting better, and he's getting into areas now where he looks like he's going to score in every single game, and he's also assisting in games. And that's the job, and it's something that it's so pleasing to see, because he works ever so hard. He's a very calm boy. He's very stable, very focused, and he's only going to get better and better the more experience he gains in the Premier League. So delighted for him, and I'm sure if he keeps up with the form consistently over these next numbers of months and years, then, and I'm sure he'll be very close to that squad.
Rob, please.
Hi, Brendan.
Hi.
Hi. Do you mind me asking how you personally spent the winter break?
Yes, I went skiing.
Yeah. First time?
Yes.
How'd you get on?
Fell over. Quite a lot.
Oh dear.
But got there in the end.
Are you on the physio table now then?
No, I had a sore knee and sore ankle a few times, but other than that, it was good fun.
Good stuff. Does it kind of refer you back, almost like you said about Mauricio Pochettino, to it's such an intense environment sometimes, football, and it can seem all consuming, and then just to switch off? Were you able to do that for a little while? Yeah,
and you have to, essentially you have to be able to do that, and it's very difficult obviously when you're in jobs. Sometimes it gets presented to you when you lose your job to have a break. And I know when I lost my job at Reading, I could have probably went into work the next day, but when I lost my job at Liverpool, it was I needed the rest, I needed the breather, just to come away, reflect and refresh. And then 7 months later or so, when I went into Celtic, I was ready and hungry again. So I think for Mauricio and any manager that loses your job, it is such an intense job, and it's all consuming. You're thinking about it all the time. Even on your rest days, you're thinking of it. So, but he'll have found a bit of time, I'm sure, to enjoy it, get away, and but then after a number of months, of course, you're very keen and ready to get back in again. And then it's not about the club. Then it's about the right club.
And you'll try skiing again in another break?
I will do at some point. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
You can't do it as a player, can you? It's in the contract.
No. It's very difficult to do as a player, and actually haven't experienced it. I would certainly not be letting any player do it, because it certainly risks injury.
your opposite number on Friday, Nuno took over with the club in the Championship, and he's obviously spent some money. But can you give us an idea of in terms of coaching, the job he's done in instilling this style on the team and then tweaking it when they've had little bad patches to get to the position that they're in now, and whilst playing in the Europa League as well?
Yeah, no, I think Nuno's done an outstanding job there. Like you said, there was a big investment that went into in the Championship. Players that came in, but I think what he's been able to do is put them into a structure and a format and a way of working. Of course, in the Championship they were terrific, and then came up, invested again, and shown that consistency and quality in the Premier League. And like I said, they finished above us last year and got into European football, and again cope with that very, very well. So yeah, he's done a fantastic job there. Really good group of players who work very hard. Like I say, they play a counter-attacking style, so happy to sit in a bit deeper and then look to break out with the pace, and they have the quality and the understanding to do that. So yeah, no, he's done a very good job with him and his staff, and I'm sure all the supporters will be delighted how the progress has been made over the last few years.
We spoke to Ricardo Pereira at the training ground earlier. I'm sure he'll have his hands full a bit on Friday. We're looking at the stat that he's attempted and won the most tackles by far of any other player in the Premier League this season, which he was aware of. But he said that stats obviously aren't everything. But how would you kind of assess his performances this season, considering as well that he's won all those tackles and he's picked up one booking? So he's getting it right, isn't he?
Yeah, he's an outstanding player. I think when he first came into the country, I think everyone knew his attacking qualities and how good he was going forward. But of course, coming into the Premier League, you have to be able to defend as well. But no, he's a player that can get in contention with people. He can get tight because he's quick. He stays on his feet. He can block crosses. His positioning is in the main very, very good. And then, like I say, he has that incredible quality then when you're going forward, where he can travel with the ball. He can go inside, outside. He can cross. He can shoot. He's a absolutely brilliant player, and all very, very low maintenance. He comes in, he does his work every day, prepares himself, trains hard, and gets on with the game and wants to improve all the time. So no, he's a brilliant signing by the club, and he's getting better and better all the time. And now he's in the national team for Portugal and played very well there as well. So yeah, first class player. So we're delighted to have him.
As I mentioned, he's only got the one booking. You've only had 25 this season, no reds. You're top of the fair play table. Does that actually mean anything to you? Are you pleased with that?
Not really. We go into every game to play, and be a sporting team. We're an aggressive team, like you say, in terms of how we press the game and that side of it. But no, we want to play with that aggression. But I don't necessarily monitor and look at the cards, of course, but yeah, but we're an honest team that work hard, try to play good football, score goals, create goals, and try to work very hard to stop the goals. Simple as that. And sometimes that you'll pick up cards and sometimes you won't. But yeah, it's a stat, like you say, that I wasn't really aware of.
Hello, Brendan. Adam from Radio Leicester.
Hi.
I'm in off the subs bench, in and Owen away. I want to start with injuries. Wes Morgan first. I know he had an injury a couple of weeks ago. Is he recovered from that and available for selection?
Yeah, Wes is back in the squad and trained, so he's come through that fine.
Perfect. Wilfred Ndidi as well. I know that he was sort of coming back by the time the break came. What position is he in terms of his fitness?
Probably going to be doubtful for this game. He's like you say, he came back, very, very quickly, and obviously played in the West Ham game and the Aston Villa game, but just a little reaction to to his operation. So, but we'll see how he is. Like I said, I think he'd be doubtful for this game, but hopefully okay for the following one.
Nampalys Mendy as well. I know it was maybe a month ago that you said 4 to 6 weeks. I don't know how his progress is at the moment.
It's exactly that, yeah. So he's ongoing.
Perfect. And Matty James, I know that he was playing in a couple of under-23s games. Firstly, how did he do in those games? How did he come through those? And then onto that, his performance or his role, what that might be in the rest of the season.
Yeah, I think in the first period of the season, it was a case of he wasn't going to be fit enough to be in contention to play. He was recovering from various injuries. So the first 6 months was don't put him under that pressure, bring him out of the squad, let him get fit and available, and not just fit but sustain the fitness. And thankfully for Matty, he's been able to do that. And now we were able to include him in the squad. And like I said, he's training and working very hard and getting fitter all the time. And like I say, the players in midfield have been first class, so it's obviously going to be difficult. But to have him as a possibility, and with the quality that I've seen with him, then of course that makes us happy. So yeah, he's sustaining his fitness, which is great for him. It's great for us. And like I say, between now and the end of the season, we'll see how that works. He's played, like you say, in some of the 23 games. He played in the last game away at Newport. So it's just the case of him continue with that work and then see where it takes him.
In terms of the break that you've just had, it gives you a chance to reflect, review what's gone before while you were nailing those parallel turns, I'm sure. How do you do you think it came at a good time for you, the break?
Yeah, I think it was probably a little bit later than what you would want, but at the same time you can't complain when we got it. So yeah, I think after the Chelsea game, it was a perfect opportunity for the players and the staff and everyone just to break the cycle, not think about football, get away, enjoy some time with your family, with your friends. The players were still doing some work whilst they were away. They had individual programmes to do whilst they were away, so they weren't totally escaping any sort of physical exertion, but they came back, of course, on a good level and refreshed and, like I say, ready for this final third of the season. So yeah, I think it's worked at a good time for us.
With those 13 games left, we're not on the final straight, are we? Maybe the last couple of laps of this season, of this long distance race. What's the message to your team for those final few laps, perhaps, as we near the end?
Well, there's still a long way to go. You know, you still got 39 points to play for, so that's a lot of points to play. And like I said, get to 10 games to go, assess it, and but it's just don't change. You know, for us, you know, we can't be thinking so much about, you know, being in the top 4, the top 6. It's one where you just go into the next game and fight and run and work and show your quality. And if you can do that, let's see where it takes us. And come the end of the season, we'll finish where we deserve to finish, because that's what you do over the course of 38 games. But don't overthink it. Go and enjoy it. Enjoy working well, playing well and working hard, and let's see where it takes us.
What's achievable? What's success in those 13 games that remain? We just want to be the best that we can be. Like I say, we finished 9th in the last couple of seasons. You know, our job, we were in that group of teams that was talked about challenging for the top 6, which was always going to be a huge challenge for us. We found ourselves, you know, in the top 4, and deservingly so, because the players' consistency over the majority of this season has been first class. So can we sustain that, you know, and then we'll finish where we're due to finish, and then we'll take it and then move on to the next season. Surely you'd be disappointed if you didn't get European football from here, with the position that you were in, with the start that you have had to this season.
It's what you deserve. You know, the finish line, we're not near that yet. You know, so there's a long way to go. We've been fantastic up until this point, but you get judged in May and where we finish, and that's when the assessment is. So